Heavenly Father, as we enter into this, as we enter into this time of the year, we are reminded of everything that we are thankful for. From this area we live in, to include the many opportunities to enjoy your creation, to the wonderful weather we are currently enjoying, to the sun-filled days. We are also fortunate to live in this wonderful, caring community that cares for neighbors, friends, and families. Help us remember everyone and everything that we have been thankful for this coming Thursday as we sit down with our family and friends to celebrate this time of the year. We also ask for your wise oversight on the day after, as some of us enjoy the shopping experience and others of us stay at home to avoid the frenzy. Tonight, we again ask for your oversight of our staff and our community as we address city business. Help us keep this a great community to live, work, and have a business and raise a family. We also ask for your protective hand for our first responders as they continue to protect us and our belongings. We extend this to our military members and their families wherever they are serving throughout the world. We also ask for your protective hand for our local firefighters that have recently been assigned to California and fighting their wildfires. Keep them all safe and returning home at the end of their duty days. In the Lord's name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Surtee.
Here.
Vice Mayor Wilson.
Here.
Councilmember Barker.
Here.
Councilmember Evans. Councilmember Rizzi.
Present.
Councilmember Struble.
Here.
Councilmember Waldron.
Here.
6 in attendance. You have a quorum.
Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the consent agenda be accepted as presented and that the contracts with William Perlman, John Dostal, and Karen Nicely for public defender services in the amount of $2,225 per month for representation of up to 165 clients per year each for the time period of January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2020 be approved, and that contracts for Project PW 2018 Public Works On-Call Services for SA1 General Civil Engineering be awarded to Aztec Engineering Group Incorporated, Carollo Engineers Incorporated, Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated, T.Y. Lin International and Wood Environment and Infrastructure Solutions Incorporated, and for SA2 General Survey Services be awarded to Aztec Engineering Group Incorporated, Sunrise Engineering Incorporated, Wood Environment and Infrastructure Solutions Incorporated, and Wood Patel and Associates Incorporated, and for SA3 Geotechnical be awarded to Nino and More Quality Testing, LLC Ricker, Atkinson, McBee, and Mormon and Associates Incorporated, Western Technologies Incorporated, and Wood Environment and Infrastructure Solutions Incorporated be approved, and that the mayor be authorized to sign the contract subject to the approval as to form by the city attorney, and that the award of bid for project number PR-18-01 Superstition Shadows Park Aquatics Facility Pool Resurfacing be awarded to CDC Pools Incorporated in the amount of $251,261 plus a 10% contingency of $25,126.10 for possible change orders or additional unexpected issues for a maximum cost of $276,387.10 be approved, and that the mayor be authorized to sign the contract subject to approval as to form by the city attorney, and that the Second Amendment to the intergovernmental agreement with Topaz Regional Wireless Cooperative be approved and that the mayor be authorized to sign the agreement subject to approval as to form by the city attorney.
Second.
Roll call.
Vice Mayor Wilson,
Yes?
Councilmember Struble,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron,
Yes.
Councilmember Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barker,
Yes.
Mayor Surtee.
Yes.
6 votes in favor, motion passes.
Okay, we have no awards tonight, but I have a feeling we have quite a few announcements. Let's start on this side.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'll just go. We attended the Festival of Superstitions. The Veterans Tribute was awesome. We were able to, the Boys and Girls Club Turkey Trot, or Turkey Feed, or whatever they called it this year.
Gobble to you wobble.
Gobble till you wobble, that's right. And state of the county. Just a real short, the AJ Kids Idol, we finished the auditions and everybody needs a ticket because we've got an amazing group of young people from kindergarten actually up to, I think our oldest is junior in high school, but they are amazing. It's just gonna be a great show, so look out there to buy your tickets. The one thing I wanted to talk about though is November is the National Adoption Month, and it's just something I want people to be aware of. Right now, there's over 15,000 young people in the foster program, and it's just a great way to give back to your community. If anybody out there has the inclination, the ability, and just the desire to foster a child, they come in all race, color, creed, ages, everything out there. Just, and then if you have the ability to adopt, that would be an awesome thing. There's various agencies out there that you could contact to do that, and I just urge anybody who really has the desire to go out and pursue that. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, well, he stole my thunder on a little bit of it, but the Boys and Girls Club Thanksgiving dinner was real good, and on a personal note, the pies were fantastic. Festival of Superstition. It was fairly attended. We had our miniature horse that, I should say miniature pony, that was out there. And we did over 60 rides for kids that did the ride, or 60 kids did the ride. We had from, quote, expert riders to first-time riders, and a few very young kids that were extremely fearful of the animal, but after a quick pat decided that he wasn't going to bite them, so that was okay. We had a couple of, or several kids actually, that decided that they loved it so much they came back a second and a third time. And it was enjoyed by, as far as we could tell, by everybody except me and my wife. We were exhausted at the end of the day. And the pony was too. Attended the Pinell County State of the County. It was a small attendance, but it was very informative. And overall, the county is growing, and in some areas of the county actually has some new job opportunities that are moving in. So it's looking good for Pinell County.
Robin?
Oh, sorry, I was still listening. Yes, Veterans Day was marvelous. Great parade, great activity following the parade. Good job to everybody who participated in that. The Health and Wellness Fair was really fantastic this year. Kudos to Jamie and her tribe. FOTS, again, another successful year. And don't forget, Saturday, December 1st, our holiday program and our light parade. The big event of the year. Everybody get out there, take your mittens, and go out and enjoy that parade.
That was mine.
I'm sorry.
I just want to give quick kudos to the chamber staff on the FOTS, the Festival of Superstition. It went remarkably well. There's some new staff, and they charged right in and did a great job. So looking forward to next year.
I just want to thank the VFW that did the Veterans Tribute, that they did an amazing job. Boys and Girls Club, they always do an amazing job at the Thanksgiving dinner. It takes a lot of work, and Tess Nesser in particular always keeps everybody focused. It's a big group of people, and she's got to keep everybody focused on the list of items to bring. So thank you for all the work that you put into that. We've got a couple of neat events coming up in December. Starting off with December 1st, kicks off our light parade, and we're doing our annual tree lighting at the same time. So the tree lighting kicks off the parade. And in coordination with that, the Focal Point Committee has started a holiday decorating competition. It's open to all businesses, all churches, all organizations in Apache Junction. And basically, we are trying to make Apache Junction a go-to place for the holidays to come see the Christmas lights. And if you could just imagine everybody pitching in, how beautiful the community could be at this time. The contact information is located on the flyer. Hopefully people can see it. We have a rotating plaque. It's a beautiful plaque that the community will judge the participants, and the plaque, you win the plaque, you'll get your name and the year on the plaque. You get to keep that for 1 year. And also, something that I talk about every year is we always preach shopping local, and one of the things that I think is important that we sometimes forget is to donate local. And I won't mention the store, but recently I was in one of our local grocery stores, and they had a donation box. I think it was for food or turkeys, and I had asked, where are the donations going? Do they stay in Apache Junction? Unfortunately, the food donations in this particular store get shipped to Phoenix. I don't think it hurts our community to ask our stores where those items that we're donating go. We're a small community with a big need, and I think it's important that we hold our stores accountable for where the donations go. We need those in our community. So also I wanted to share that my husband and I for 7 years have done a local toy drive. We collect food and clothing and toys for a local charity. We challenge local businesses, and again, we've turned it into a fun and friendly competition. Businesses and groups can participate, and whoever collects the most number of items each year gets, again, the winning plaque, a plaque with their name and the year that they get to sport. We're donating to CAFA this year, and again, that's a really great local charity. It helps children and family in our community, so everything donated to this toy drive. The contact information is located at the bottom of the flyer, but it's just so important for people to know that those donations all stay in our community and help children and families in our community. Thank you.
I want to go back to one of Krista's. Even though it says light the trail, you don't have to be on the trail to do it, so make sure that. And Al, I just got word Washington State scored again. It's now 76 to 28. So,
Just wait till Saturday.
the Arizona Winter Visitors Association, which a lot of locals don't even know exists, they're having their Welcome Back Bash. And this is at Barlean's, and I don't think you have to be a winter visitor to go. There's a lot of vendors that go. If you're a member, you get in for free. Otherwise, it's $5, and it starts it's at 9 o'clock in the morning at Barlean's, and they actually put on a little show. So it's worth going to get to see part of a Barlean's show for $5. And that's December 3rd, so look for that. And then we're about to enter into our big event season. At Earthheart Park, there's going to be a new one. Last year they had the Bluegrass Festival. It is now turned into the Superstition Music Festival, and that's going to be Saturday, March 9th. If you want more information on this, whether you're a performer or a vendor, you can contact Fred Obermeyer at Obie's Trains. That's in the plaza where Papa Murphy's is upstairs, or Al Bravo will get you in touch with the right people. And that's right before the Bluegrass Festival, so this could be a variety of music there. It's going to be a cool event. Then also, the Citizens Leadership Institute wasn't very well attended last year. I think a lot of people, I don't know if they knew about it or not, but this is a free 8-session class, and we're going to leave this up on the screen so that everybody can see this. And you can register at the city through the website or contact Al again. And we probably allow the registration right up until the night that it starts. And if you've ever seen the council appoint boards and commissions, one of the prerequisites that they always prefer is that if you're a graduate of this. So, but it's got a lot of information that will help you on a lot of things. So with that, I'll turn it over to Bryant with his report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bryant Powell, City Manager, and I'll just add on the CLI, it's an award-winning program, and we encourage and invite all members of the community, business community, residents alike, that are even remotely interested in learning about local government. Our feedback that we get from our residents is
Do
fantastic.
you have to be a resident?
Do not have to be a resident. In fact, because attendance is low, we're almost encouraging more. Gold Canyon, Apache Junction area, folks to come in and participate. There are often lots of questions that I try to answer, and a lot of those answers come from coming to this session of classes. So we're going to keep getting the word out, Al, and do our very best to encourage folks to apply. A few of us were able to attend a couple of weeks ago, in representing the city of Apache Junction, the memorial service and reception of Carol Ann Cramner, who was a long-time city of Apache Junction resident and also worked for our school district. And I brought one of the programs from the day, and I just thought I'd pass along to everybody if you hadn't seen it. For many that are here today for the first time, you may notice that we have some new monitors, some new AV equipment, and no overhead. After 12 years of being here, Matt McNulty has been saving, and planning for the day we could make this change through our governmental access fee revenue. And we thank him for getting us this new equipment. We should be able to see better. It's amazing how over time technology costs are reduced. I also, you may have noticed tonight that you hear a new voice from across the way here. And I'm very thankful for our employees, and especially grateful to Anna tonight helping out as Kathy is on vacation, to being our city clerk voice, and she's doing a great job. She actually came in on our vacation. So we're very, very grateful for her and all of our employees that do such wonderful work for our residents. And then I wanted to follow up on one letter that we received recently on the household hazardous waste event. It is such a strong program, and so many residents are so grateful that we continue it. We're actually going to be able to do it 2 times this year. The letter reads, "Just a word of thanks and appreciation for your efforts in offering a very well-ran and efficient household hazardous waste event this past Saturday. I have personally not had the opportunity to take advantage of the program until this year. I had been warned by many to be patient and expect a wait. Probably consumed my entire Saturday morning there. But much to my surprise, I was in and out in less than 25 minutes. Impressive. The road map was smooth, very well attended, and staff was educated on where to send everyone with their specific contents. It was super easy to get around, even with the volume of cars in line. Great job, you guys. Please pass this on." So I want to thank Heather Hodgman and Shane and the group at Public Works and their team and community service workers and many of our staff who make that an enjoyable event, and it is a great service to our community. And before I end on this Thanksgiving week, I want to give a big thank you to those who work for United Way of Pinal County. I wanted to thank them. We've had some great improvements, and we thank them in their coordination of our nonprofit groups, but some specific efforts that have been done this year include financial stability classes for people who need help, mentoring services for low-income and homeless families, free birth control and state identification for people who need these things, and a community resource center, which we're very proud of, and it's just starting, and we're hoping this will be kind of one of these opportunities where it becomes a hub for people to come and get services they need. So thank you to those who have made that happen. Matt, are you ready for the
I'm ready.
financial report?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Matt Busby, Assistant City Manager. We have our first monthly financial statement of this fiscal year. It'll look very familiar to you. As you see here on the graph, revenues are looking pretty good. As you see along the top month to date, as you compare revenue over the past couple of years, you can see a good, healthy increase. We always like to see that. And the year-to-date number is the same way. We're always cautious when we see increases to try to understand why and with the recent changes that we always mention about the Arizona Department of Revenue taking over all tax collections. We're hopeful that this is actual revenue from current, but sometimes we don't know when they report it, when they remit it to us. So we're cautiously optimistic that things are looking really good this year revenue-wise. And as you can see, expenditures are going and holding in line as well. So that's a very good thing. Highway Users Revenue Fund looks very similar to prior years as well, including the slight increase in revenue is always good to see. Lastly, our other fund sheet. These all look good and normal according to what we've seen in the past. One note is you'll see our Senior Services Fund as well as our Street Projects Fund. We always expend monies in these areas before we receive the grant funds or the tax collections or whatever. So it's normal to us to see it as it's reflected here. And with that, I'm available for any questions.
Matt, on the senior services, I was curious, if you look at the year-to-date and the month-to-date, you know, let's take month-to-date, for example, revenues this year are 3,700, last year were 64,000. That's a pretty sizable difference. I was wondering what the cause of that is.
Yeah, oftentimes it just depends on when we get the money from the provider through the agency, and I forget the agency's name. GRIC, is it the Gila River Indian Community Grant? So it all depends on when they get the money to us, but we've been awarded the grant, so we know the money's coming. It's just not actually reflected in our cash right now. So
It's just a sizable difference there.
it is, and it fluctuates year to year.
But it's not a typo.
It's not a typo, no. Like I said, we expect to see it like this. It fluctuates like this, so. That's all I have.
And I don't know if you're watching the news, but the stock market's kind of crashing, so hopefully that doesn't affect anything either.
Actually, it's correcting.
Yes,
Correcting.
Yes. Public hearings on proposed ordinance number 1466, amending Apache Junction Code. Is the judge going to present?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you again. I also have Brittany Kimball with us tonight. She's our compliance leader, and she'll be tackling this program as we move forward with it. On November 5th, I made a work study presentation to you on this proposed ordinance, which would authorize the court to implement electronic monitoring home detention. You all had a good number of questions at that time, and we've had a chance to review one of the questions I think was Councilmember Rizzi asked about how many people are in jail at any given time. Ms. Kimball was able to do some research, and on an average basis, it's about 24 people that are in jail on city charges at any given time over a course of 1 year, but she was asking about that. If you have any further questions, I would gladly answer those at that time, or have Ms. Kimball answer those. Otherwise, it's time for a public hearing.
Are there any questions or discussion beforehand?
Your Honor, looking at the stuff in the packet, I think it's important for the public to understand that what it costs per day to house somebody in jail is $194.
For the first day, and it goes down after that, but
Yeah.
it's very expensive, and also,
But with this monitoring system, it's $17.
that's correct.
That's my point.
It's
is-
20% of the cost,
Yeah.
basically. And again, keep in mind too, that we have no control over the cost. The county can, it's just like going to Walmart and buying something. If that's the something you need, then you have to pay the price. They're the sole source provider, so they get to set the price. You can't go to Fry's and say, hey, is it cheaper over there? We have to take the cost that they offer to us.
Right. So there's tremendous savings with this.
Yes.
Yes.
Your Honor. Judge, also, there's certain qualifications for people to be able to qualify for this program. So somebody that had committed certain crimes would not qualify for this.
Sir, well, first of all, this is a city court program. This is not more serious charges that you would deal with, that aggravated assaults and things like that. So, but yes, we are required to pre-screen each person under statute to make sure that they're qualified to be in the program. We always would get the input of the prosecutor's office to see what they said as well. So we take that very seriously, and if they're not eligible under state law for the program, then obviously they would not participate. Also, we're going to use our discretion as to knowing the person, and if they have a history of destroying property or destroying the jail or things like that where they're a danger to society, then obviously they would not be allowed to participate in the program.
I just think it was important for the public to know that we're not intending to cause safety issues.
Right.
There's
No,
a screening process.
And this is an individual thing. This is not a blanket thing, meaning not everybody that was in jail is going to get, first, it's a privilege, and you have to qualify that for privilege. And once you get that privilege, you have to respect that privilege. I mean, doing it correctly, following the rules, and following those conditions of release. Thank you for the question.
Any more questions? Okay, if not, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to speak on this item? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any more discussion? And I'll ask for a motion.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that ordinance number 1466 be read by title only and reading of the entire ordinance be waived.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Struble,
Yes.
Councilmember Rizzi,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilson,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron,
Yes.
Councilmember Barker,
Yes.
Mayor Surtee.
Yes.
6 in favor, the motion passes.
Now the full motion.
It's just to read the title.
Okay.
Yeah. Is she not done?
So,
We'll get there.
presentation and discussion.
No.
Well, wait a
No,
second.
Yes.
We're gonna.
Sorry, I missed
You
reading
read
the
the
title.
title,
Okay.
title of the ordinance.
Oh, amending the Apache Junction City Code, Volume 1, Chapter 5, Municipal Court, Article 5-1, Municipal Court by adding Section 5111, Home Detention Continuous Alcohol Monitoring Program, repealing any conflicting provisions, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that ordinance number 1466 is read by the city clerk be approved and adopted.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Barker?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Councilmember Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Struble?
Yes.
Mayor Surtee.
Yes.
6 in favor, motion passes.
Presentation, discussion, public hearing, consideration for ordinance 1463 by Amerco Real Estate Company. Rudy Esquivius?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rudy Esquivius, I'm the senior planner. I will be brief, Mr. Mayor. Back in September, we brought case, the rezoning case and a general plan amendment case by Amerco Real Estate Company and their client U-Haul, case PZ 218. They were requesting a general plan amendment for a property at the southeast corner of US 60 and Idaho to redesignate 50 acres of that property for business park, whereas it had been a commercial opportunity area. At your meeting in September, you did approve the general plan amendment, so that major item is done, enabling the applicant to proceed with a rezoning for 50 acres of the property from B1 general commercial by plan development to B5 plan development, which is industrial plan development. So the general plan amendment was approved. That's out of the way. We don't have to wait a whole other year before we can bring it back. However, Amerco did request from both the Planning and Zoning Commission and from the council a continuance on the rezoning. They had some questions about some of the conditions that staff was recommending for the rezoning, including the what the Idaho improvements are going to look like. So they could do some feasibility and look into it a little more. And of course, the other thing that's going on right now is J2 is conducting an active transportation plan study for the city, and we hope to bring that item to you at your January 15th meeting for approval. So Amerco requested a continuance of the rezoning portion of their request until the J2 study was done and they knew what the cross sections were going to look like, because one of the things that staff is recommending is a 75-foot wide half right-of-way on Idaho. There is already a 2-lane road, not completely improved, that runs from US 60 down a baseline. Basically, that would end up functioning as 2 southbound lanes, and then Amerco would be requested to build the northbound lanes at a half, not a parkway standard, but at at an improved standard as recommended by J2. So basically, they requested a continuance of the P&Z meeting, and they've also requested a continuance of the city council meeting. Originally, it was November 13th to P&Z and November 20th to council. We took this item to P&Z Commission last week, and the Planning and Zoning Commission did agree to continue their public hearing on the rezoning to the February 12th, 2019 meeting. That's the soonest meeting we could hit after the January 15th meeting at which J2 project will hopefully decided. And also they are asking for a continuance of this council meeting to February 19th. So on February 12th, we would go to P&Z. On February 19th, we would come back to you for your decision on the rezoning. Staff recommends approval of the continuance request so we can continue to work with Amerco on the details. And that's it, Mr. Mayor. I'd be happy to answer any questions. A representative from Amerco is here should you have any questions of the applicant as well.
Any questions for Rudy? And any questions for the applicant? And would the applicant like to say anything? Okay. All right, even though they're requesting a continuance, we still have to have a public hearing?
Yes.
This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to speak on this item? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. And any further discussion?
Excuse me.
So, can we make a,
I have a question.
yes,
What was the date? on that
February
continu-
19th.
February what?
19th.
19th. I'm sorry,
The
I had the
19th,
wrong
yes, ma'am.
date.
2019.
Okay.
So-
February 19th.
if we're okay with their continuance, does anyone want to make a motion about
Make
that?
a
Your Honor,
motion.
I move that ordinance number
Okay.
1463, case PZ 2-18, be continued to the council meeting of February 19th, 2019.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Rizzi,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilson,
Yes.
Councilmember Barker,
Yes.
Councilmember Struble,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron,
Yes.
Mayor Surtee.
Yes.
6 in favor, motion passes.
Selection of meeting dates and times for upcoming meetings.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move an executive session at 6 PM and a work session at 7 PM be held on Monday, December 3rd, 2018, in the City Council Conference Room and City Council Chambers located at 300 East Superstition Boulevard, Apache Junction, Arizona, respectively.
Second.
Roll call.
Vice Mayor Wilson,
Yes.
Councilmember Struble,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron,
Yes.
Councilmember Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Barker,
Yes.
Mayor Surtee.
Yes.
6 in favor, motion passes.
The Tuesday meeting?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move an executive session at 6 PM and a work session at 7 PM be held on Tuesday, December 4th, 2018, in the City Council Conference Room and City Council Chambers located at 300 East Superstition Boulevard, Apache Junction, Arizona, respectively.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Barker,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilson,
Yes.
Councilmember Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Struble,
Yes.
Mayor Surtee.
Yes.
6 in favor, motion passes.
We have 0 call to the public, so unless anyone else has anything else to add, we will adjourn the meeting.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy